Hi guys, welcome back to Candigoth Creations, a place for me to share all the randomness of me and what I've been making. I'm Linny, also known as Candigoth pretty much everywhere. If you're looking for me, just put in Candigoth and there I am. I'd like to thank everyone coming back and who's sticking with me, because it's a hard choice to make to stick with me. There's so many crochet channels and that's something I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. And welcome to anyone who's new. I ramble a lot. I apologise. Right. So I've got a list. If I keep looking here, I'm trying to be organised. I've made a list. So I'm starting with whips. I've got my Neverland blanket. I've barely touched it. I've done probably another 10 rows on it. So I'm just doing blue backwards and forwards. I'm not going to show you that every week. But the bright pink shawl is back. So I finished all the pink and I've started on the edging, which is really hard for you to see. Pineapples. So I found on Pinterest a chart for a vintage, I think it's probably a blanket, because it's got like, so I'm just wearing it, it's got like infill bits here. I wanted each one to be individual, like spiky bits. So I've done up to row 3 or 4 of the chart as a solid, like backwards and forwards, and then I've separated them. So I'll be doing each point individually. So I've done 4 points so far, and the rest of it has the 5 rows. I finished off that ball of pink. So that, ooh, hello, you can't see me. So that's all gone. So the pink is gone. It was just yarn out of my stash. I don't want to be buying any more yarn this year if I can avoid it. But that's it. So I've added these on. I'll link you to the Pinterest pin. Are they called pins on there? Of what this is. But isn't it pretty? And that's without any blocking or anything. So obviously when it's blocked, it'll be a bit crisper. But I think that's rather pretty. So that's that one. And I only have one other whip. And it's not crochet. Or knitting. It does use yarn. I put this on my personal Facebook thing. And said, can you guess what I'm making? My friends are extremely crude. And I actually think they've quoted me, not the other way around. I think it looks like candy floss right now. But no, it's going to be, we have World Book Day coming up in March. And my children like me to hand make costumes. So my middle child wants to be Cat and Hat. It's going to be a tail. I'll link you again back to Pinterest. There's some really good tutorials how to make tails out of yarn. I mean, that's yarn just braided. And then this, you just grab a section, take sections of yarn and you use, I've lost it, one of these like cat brushes, like the stickler brushes. They're really sharp. And you brush the living daylights out of the little bundle of yarn and then you just tie it on to the main braid. And then you keep going. So this is the white bit at the end. And then all of this is going to be black. The dreaded black yarn. But yeah, then it'll make a tail. And then I'll just have to attach it to him somehow. Which I need to think about how I'm going to do that. Probably he wears braces. He likes to wear braces on his trousers because he's a little hipster at the age of 5. So I can just thread the brace buckle through that and then attach it. Which actually probably going to be what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking about putting, if I could find an old metal coat hanger or some really like heavy gauge wire so that he can have it shaped into all sorts of randomness. I will warn you, when you do this, you lose a lot of yarn. So I don't know how well you can see this. This is all the fluff that's come off making this. So you literally lose half of the yarn when you make these. But I'm going to use that for stuffing bits and bobs and, you know, getting everything done. So that's that. That's all my whips because I'm boring. Right, finish objects. Oh, sorry. I finished my sweater. I am really pleased with this. It's really hard to see because I always wear black, and I did finish the sleeves. I finished the sleeves at my elbow. I've got really bad contact dermatitis on my hands and my wrists, so I never wear full length things because they just irritate. Everything irritates them, which is weird because another one of my finished objects is mittens. Right, but anyway, back to this. This is the not the ugly Christmas jumper. No, sorry, Christmas sweater. I'll link it down below anyway. Amazing pattern. And I really should have picked something a bit more challenging maybe, because we're not even out of January and I've done my yearly goal. I now have made a new yearly goal of the year. So we will discuss that in a moment. Right. Another thing I made, as I just mentioned them, I made myself some fingerless mitts. Because my hands don't like being cold or hot or anything really right now. Look at them. They're knitted. It's the yarn that I got in the random yarn box, the surprise yarn box from Lollys Little Wool Shack. I made a video a couple months back now, but it's so pretty. It is knitted up really, really pretty. Isn't it cute? It doesn't even look like real knitting. It looks like that printed stuff because it looks perfect. This is done on 8mm needles, and basically all I've done is I done six rows of ribbing down the bottom, so it's just 1 by 1, so purl 1, knit 1, and I've done it so I cast on enough to fit around my wrist, and then 6 rows of knit 1, purl 1, and then it was just done flat, so knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, so it was till it was nearly long enough, and then 6 rows of knit 1, purl 1 again at the top. But I think, considering I'm not a knitter, I've done these in an evening, like both of them. And obviously they don't match but the nature of that yarn, unless I was willing to waste a lot of it, was never going to match. And I wasn't willing to waste a lot. So today I've had one of those crazy days. My youngest child didn't want to go out and socialise today, which is fine. So we dropped the big 2 at school. Then I came home and crocheted. So I've made, that looks so small, I've made their little neck warmers and black yarn. I don't know why I'm trying to show you black yarn, but it's sparkly. Can you see all those sparkles? And it's just front post, back post, and this one actually fits me. This is for my oldest child, so obviously it's a bit snug on me, but just a little neck warmer to go under his coat. He won't. We have an issue with scarves. The issue with scarves is they get dragged on the floor, then they get filthy, and then they get wet, and they don't like to wear them. So I've done 3 of these for the boys. So we have black sparkly, we have blue, and that's just half doubles all the way around. Kept going until it was wide enough to fit his neck. And then this one is a little flutter, made with, this is the only yarn that I actually know what it is. It's made with James C. Brett Flutterby. This is just a bog standard acrylic held 2 together, so it's really thick and squishy. This is a Poundland. It's acrylic, but it's got that sparkle stuff in it. And again, held 2 together with an 8mm hook. This is made with, I don't know what it is. I found it in stash with no ball band or anything on it. I'm assuming that I've used it for something else because it was only like calfable. And it's the devil to work with. It's beautiful and it is so soft. So soft. And it reminds me of, British people are probably going to understand, the pink and white marshmallow things with the coconut on. Because does that not look like that? Is it just me? Might just be me. But it's really fluffy and fuzzy, and it's got like, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, like all the little fibery sticky up bits. I can't see where the camera is, over there. All the sticky up bits. But this one is going to go, every year I do a box and I put all the random stuff that's not made for a specific person, and I put it in the box, and then towards Christmas it gets sorted into what's going where and for who, or if I just need a quick gift that's ready made, I just go in a box and grab something. That is all of my finished objects this week. So, New Year, my goal for the year is done. It's the 15th of January. Should have picked something a bit more ambitious. New goal is to make 6 blankets. So we're a family of 5. I have 3 boys and my partner and me. So I'm the girl in the house, and then a bunch of boys. So I keep looking down there because there's my notes. So I'm making my Neverland blanket. I want to make, so I can't think. Yarnjoy podcast is doing a crochet along, and she's doing a Christmas blanket made by, I can't think what they're made by. I will link everything behind, but it's corner to corner squares, all Christmas themed, and if you've done one a month, then by Christmas it's a blanket. So that's my second blanket that I want to make. I want to make myself a Harry Potter blanket, so that's 3. Possibly a Star Wars blanket, which would be 4. And then I've got to think of 2 more, which is probably for the oldest tiny human and the youngest tiny human. Because the oldest tiny human is really into superheroes, so his will probably be superhero themed. And the youngest tiny human just likes to destroy everything because he's 3. So that's that. One thing that I want to ask all of you is, if you watch me and you have a channel, tell me, link it, because I'm looking for new. Oh, sorry, I keep moving, which makes the camera shake. I'm looking for new channels to watch constantly. So I've just found a few recently. So I found the Yarnjoy podcast. I found Randi's Ramblings. If I've said that wrong, I am really sorry. And I found No Catchy Name Crochet. No Catchy Name Crochet. Again, I'll link it underneath. And they're all fun, really fun to watch, really fun women that are just doing what they enjoy. And I am going to leave it now. It's started to rain again because it's Cornwall and it rains a lot. Right, I love you all. Goodbye.